Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's Keshwani, Keshwani. We are here because we want to learn how to solve algebra word problems. Today we'll do problem number 155, or rather 156 and 157. Problem number 156, as you can see, is already on the blackboard. Let's take a look at it. We are told that 6 apples and 11 bananas cost 40 cents. And we are told that 11 apples and 6 bananas cost 45 cents. The question is straightforward. The question simply is, what are their prices, apples and bananas? So let A represent. So here's our solution. The very first thing we need to do, obviously, as always, is to define our variable. Let A represent. Let A be the price of an apple. Similarly, let B be the price of a banana, one banana. So now we are told that 6 apples, so 6 apples, if 1 apple costs A cents, then 6 apples will cost 6 times as much. Plus 11 bananas, 11 times B, we are told cost 40 cents. That's our first equation. They go on to tell us that 11 apples and 6 bananas cost 45 cents. As you can clearly see, we have different coefficients here. 6 apples, 11 bananas, 6 bananas. In order for us to be able to get rid of one of these two variables, either A or B, we have to have the same coefficients for that variable. The way we're going to go about doing it is to realize that here we have 11, here we have 6. Somehow we have to make them 66. 11 times 6 is what we need here. Let's take the first equation and multiply it by 6. And watch what happens. Multiply that by 6. And let's take the second equation and multiply it by the 11. Okay? So now we get 6 times 6, which is 36 apples, plus 6 times 11 is going to be 66 bananas, cost 40 times 6, 4 6 are 24, so it's going to be 240. So that's our first equation. Here we have 11 times 11. 11 times 11 is 121 apples, plus 11 times 6, which is 66 bananas, equals 45 times 11. How much is 45 times 11? So that's pretty straightforward. 45 times 10 would have been 450. We don't have 1045, we have 1145, so it's going to be 450 plus 45. 450 plus 45 is 495. Or if you like, you just multiply them out. It's very simple. 45 times 11. Let's do it up here. 45 times 11. 11 times 5 is 55. 11 times 5 is 55. Carry 5. And 11 times 4 is 44. 44 plus 5 is 49. This is 495. Now we have the same coefficient for B. 66B, 66B. So if you subtract one equation from the other, we can get rid of the 66B. Let's put this equation at the bottom here. So we have positive 36A plus 66B equals 240. It has a positive sign in front of it. Now, if you were to subtract this bottom equation, from the top equations, let me write this a little bit neatly. I don't like the way it looks. 36A plus 66B equals 240, which has a positive sign. And this one has a positive sign in front as well. So let's subtract the second equation. By second equation, I mean this equation right here, which was our first equation. Let's subtract the first equation from the second equation. And if we were to do that, then this positive 36 will become negative, this positive 66 will become negative, and this positive 240 will become negative. And then we have a 66b minus 66b, they're going to cancel out, is gone. 121 minus 36, 11 minus 6 is 5, and then this will become 11, and this will become 11, and 11 minus 3 is 8. 85a 85A would have to equal 495 minus 20, 5 minus 0 is 5, 9 minus 4 is 5, and 4 minus 2 is 2, 255. We get 255. How much do you suppose A is? Well, obviously, A would have to be 3, because 3 times 5 is 15, it ends in a 5 here, you see? How do we know it has to be 3? Because 100, listen carefully, because 100 times 3 would have been 300. We don't have 300, we have something less than 300. So it has to be either 3 or a 1. That's the only way we're going to get a 5 at the end. Obviously it's not 1, 85 times 1, it would have been 85. It's 3. And if you don't like it, if you don't believe it, just verify it. 85 times 3 is 15, see, ends in a 5. Carry 1. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 1 is 25, right there. Which means A is equal to 3. Price of an apple is 3 cents. What's the price of banana? What's the price of a banana? Well, let's do it here. You can use either one of these two equations. Which one do you want to use? Not that it makes any difference. Let's use the first equation. 6A plus this equation right here. 6A plus 11B equals 40. A we know is 3. So 11B would have to equal 40. This is 6 times 3. Subtract 18 from both sides. 18 is going to drop out, and 11B equals 40 minus 18, which is 22, which means price of banana must be 2. Banana must cost 2 cents, and apples must cost 3 cents. Let's do one more, shall we? Let's do one more. These are called simultaneous equations. Now, do you know why they're called simultaneous equation? These two equations are called simultaneous equations because whatever value that we're going to claim for A and whatever value we claim that B equals to, those values must satisfy both equations at the same time. Those values of A and B, A we are claiming is 3 and B we are claiming is 2, those values of A and B must work for both equations simultaneously at the same time, and therefore they are called simultaneous equations. Number 157. Number 157. And it's called simultaneous. Simultaneous equations. That's what they're called. The next problem tells us that 3 books and 10 movies cost $128. So you're in a store where they sell books and movies, maybe on the DVDs, and 3 of those DVDs, or rather 10 of those movies on the DVDs plus 3 of the books that you want to buy cost $128, and we are told 5 movies and 7 books cost $97. Question is, what are their prices? Again, same exact situation as before. The only difference is that instead of apples and bananas, we have movies and books. That's all it is. Nothing has changed. Same logic, same rationale, same methodology, same everything. So, 3 books. So let's let B represent price of a book, and let M be the price of a movie. We are told that 3 books, so if 1 book costs B dollars, then 3 books will cost 3 times B. And 10 movies 10 movies. If one movie costs $M, then 10 will cost 10 times as much. So 10 movies and 3 books we are told they cost $128. We are further told that if you were to buy 5 movies will cost 5M. And 7 books, they would cost $97. That's it. Those are our 2 equations. That's what we have to work with and see what we can do here. Again, the thing to realize is before you do any work, you must always inspect 2 equations very quickly. Just take a brief second and inspect them and see where you can find a scenario where you will have to do the least amount of work. For example, here, listen carefully. For example, here, if you were to try to make the coefficient of b, the same, here we have 3 b's, here we have 7 b's. The only way we can make the coefficient of b the same is to multiply this equation by 7. 7 times 3 is 21, and multiply this equation by 3. 7 times 3 is 21. But we'll end up doing twice the work. What we should notice is the fact that here we have 10m, here we have 5m. Why don't we just take this equation and multiply it by 2? There we go. 5 times 2 is going to be 10m, plus 7 times 2 is going to be 14b, equals 97 times 2. How much is 97 times 2? Or 100 times 2 would have been 200, so it's 200 minus 6 because it's 97. 200 minus 6 is 194. What else can we do? Let's bring the 3b over there. So 10m's equals 128 minus 3b, and here 10m's, this tells us, must equal 194 minus 14b. There we go. So this tells us how much 10m's equals to 194 minus 14b. This tells us how much 10m is equal to 128 minus 3b, which means these 2 quantities must equal to each other because they both equal 10m. Let's do it on the top. $128 minus 3b equals 194 minus 14b. Let's bring this 14b to this side by adding 14b to both sides. And let's bring 128 to this side by subtracting 128 from both sides. That's it. So here we have a situation. We have positive 128 and a negative 128. They're going to kill each other. A negative 3 and a positive 14. A negative 3 and a positive 14 is going to give us 11. 11b must equal 194 minus 128, because negative 14b and a positive 14b, they're going to kill each other. So let's do that. 14 minus 8, so we're going to borrow 1 from 9, it becomes 8. 14 minus 8 is 6. 8 minus 2 is 6. Oh, that's very easy. And 1 minus 1 is 0. That's very simple. 11b equals 66, which means b must be 6. Books must cost $6. The question is, if books cost $6, how much do the movies cost? How much do the movies cost? Let's find out. Here's the equation right here. We'll use this equation right here. We can erase all of this thing. We're done with all of this. Books cost $6, so 3 times 6 plus 10m equals 128. 3 times 6 is 18. Let's subtract 18 from both sides. It's going to cancel out, and 10m equals 128 minus 18 is 110. If 10 movies cost $110, this implies that one movie must cost $11. One movie must cost $11. And that's all there was. That's all there is. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Bye now.